Okay, so let's go to the next one. Next portfolio here. This one is by Mrinal Shyam. Says, hello Ave, this is my first time submitting a portfolio review here. I'm a student and I'll be graduating soon this year. I have around 3 years of experience on 3D and have learned the basics of modeling, sculpting, texturing, and the use of Unreal Engine as well. I work on 3D environments and assets, but I have found that I prefer working on Unreal Engine than creating assets. Okay, so we'd also like to know the types of jobs that are in the industry involving Unreal Engine. There's a lot more in the last couple of years. I've seen a lot more positions with people looking for artists that know how to like generate or create things inside Unreal Engine. So let's take a look at yours. There we go. This is Mrinal Shyam. Nice. Okay. So we got some cool stuff. Let's take a look at this. Traditional Japanese house. First thing, and I always mention this, too dark, man. It's too dark, so I can't really appreciate your textures or your models or anything because you went for a really moody like scene, which again, it's fine for the thumbnail. It's fine to catch our attention, right? There's a lot of contrast going on, but you always want to add some breakdowns so that we can really see what's going on, because right now it's very difficult to really appreciate all of the the technical skills that you might want me to see on this piece. So that will be my advice for that one. Just make it a little bit darker. This one I really like. Again, the contrast. You went for a nice little background right there. Looks nicely integrated, right? Looks part of the same thing. A little bit of depth of field, good illumination. So this is not bad. I like it. I do feel we can improve textures a little bit more. Why do I say this? Because right now everything looks very glossy. It looks like if we threw a can of like oil on top of everything. And metals, if you look at reference again, reference is key, guys. Sword, old, right? So if you take a look at a sword, you're gonna see that there's always variations in the amount of of glossiness that we get. Yes, we're gonna have some areas that are gonna be very glossy, but then there's gonna be some areas that are not as glossy. So having that, again, that contrast in the glossiness will give us something that looks a little bit better. Sculpting wise, it's okay. Topology wise, this is a mess, my friend. It's a mess. Can you guys tell me why this is a mess? You guys tell me here on the chat, why is this not ideal right now? Too much. Yeah, that's right. Right. We got too many faces, too dense on areas where we don't need that density. They're not flowing in the right direction. So see how all of these are flowing and sort of like crisscross in a bunch of different directions. There's no silhouette change right here, so there's absolutely no need to have all of this like faces. All of that could be like baked down into a map, right? In the missing map or something like that. So this is not a well optimized element. Like, I can tell you straight from the gate, this is not properly optimized. It's a good render. You managed to present it very nicely here. I like it. But once we go into the technical side of things, not working. Okay, this is not gonna be useful for a game because it's way too much geometry. So make sure to check the retopology things here and how to properly bake all of this detail down into something that's a little bit more usable for games. Someone was making a very cool question here on the what's the word, on the YouTube chat. He says, have I applied to LinkedIn jobs? No, but I've found contacts through LinkedIn. Was it the first or the second? The first company that hired me to be an instructor, this was back in 2017 if I'm not mistaken. They got my information from LinkedIn. I'm not sure how they found me, but they found me on LinkedIn. They contacted me and I did 3 tutorials for them back in the day. Some of them are still being sold, a little bit outdated, I would say, but those were some of the first tutorials. So I've gotten like contacts and leads through LinkedIn. I've hired people through LinkedIn. Less recently, I hired an animator for a project that we were working on, and I got his contact from LinkedIn. So it can work. But someone mentioned here about the competitiveness of the industry, and this is where I feel like we as artists are a little bit too tunnel vision in. Every single industry is competitive, guys. Like, if you think software engineers are having an easier time right now, you're wrong. If you think doctors are having an easier time right now, you're wrong. If you think architects are having an easier time right now, You're wrong. Every single industry in this day and age, due to a bunch of different factors, are having a hard time. A really hard time. So it's not only us as artists, every single industry is suffering from the geopolitical mess, from AI, from capitalism, from globalization, from outsourcing. Like every single industry is going through a bad time right now. Okay? What do we do? What can we do, right? Like, that's the question. Well, first thing is try to be as prepared as possible so that if you get an opportunity, you can utilize it to the max. Second, knowing people, networking, that's going to open you a lot of doors, right? It's going to open up a lot of opportunities that might get you into a different like career path for you. And third, you need to be very aware of where the things are moving towards, okay? Like, be ready to say, hey, this thing that I've been doing for the past couple of years is not working right now. Let's pivot to something else. We can still keep the same track, right? Like the same like journey or the same goal, but we can sort of like move left and right and see where things are like again flowing around us. And if we do that, then the chances of us being like able to survive these hard times are gonna be a lot easier, okay? So I'm not saying that that's like a guarantee, but I'm just saying like that's the smartest thing to do with the current situation everywhere. Let's see, Timothy says, hi Ave, hope you're doing good. Could you give some advice on making a portfolio for freelance commission work? Like if it's props, environment, characters, what should I focus on? You should focus, Timothy, on the things that you're the best at. That's it. Like, don't try. If you're not a character artist, don't do characters. If you're not an environment artist, don't do environments. Because if you do that, it's going to look weak compared to the things that you're good at. So try to focus on the things that you are, like, more talented at. Roblox props, that could work, man. Like, if right now you can make a little bit of money by doing Roblox like mob props or whatever. If you can do Fortnite skins, I don't know if it's possible. Like, anything works, man. Anything works. Like, people were crazy or were telling me I was crazy a couple years ago when I mentioned that 3D printing was going to be big. Nowadays, anyone can do 3D printing stuff. Anyone can start their own Patreon and start selling figures and miniatures. And there's a lot of people that do it successfully. Not everyone does it successfully, right? But it is possible. So there's a lot of things. Like, at the end of the day, a job is a job, and you can do whatever it is you're doing as your day job, make your money, pay your rent, pay your bills, and then in your free time, you do your hobbies, you do your stuff, you enjoy doing the stuff that you want. You use that to build more portfolio, and if eventually that allows you to transition to the place where you want to be, that's awesome. I recently was talking to a friend, and it took him, I think, like 8 years to get from, again, like advertisement work and let's say not as like glamorous like positions as an animator to finally get into games, which is what he always wanted. And he's like, I'm happy because through those 8 years, I learned a lot, I met a lot of people, I became quite proficient at what I do, and now I can finally do games. So it's just patience, guys. We also need to be patient there. A lot of people, especially like my generation, millennials, all of these generations, we tend to be a little bit impatient there. Okay, let's move it up a little quicker here. This is good. The intensity of your normal map is a little bit too heavy, I would say. If you again take a look at the reference, you're gonna see it's a lot smoother. This looks a little bit like rock, starting to look a little bit too noisy. So tone your height information if you're doing this in texturing a little bit lower so that you can have a nicer effect. And again, topology wise, man, if this is gonna be a game asset, you can simplify so much more. Like all of those little ridges that you actually capture in geometry, I like how you solved it. Like that's a very nice like topology solve right there, but it looks very wobbly in other things, and we have way too many loops. Like this could, again, for a game asset, especially you mentioned that you're doing things for Unreal, so if you want to optimize it, you can definitely optimize it a lot more. Lamborghini model was made in Maya. Hey, if you did this model, that's cool, man. I hate doing cars. I only did one car in my 3D career, and I hated it, so I'm never gonna do another car again, but that's cool. What would I suggest you do, man? Improve your optimization, especially the retopology part. You definitely need to improve a little bit more on that, okay, my friend? Upgrading from mentor to preacher right now. There you go. No.